Today we are going to solve physics and mathematics questions from past paper 2018, and our very first question is the equation below has two roots, right? So an equation is given to us and they said that it has two roots, and roots means it has two solutions or the answers, right? So the values of x would be 2 here, right? There'll be two values of x. What is the sum of those two roots? What would be the sum of those two answers? Initially we are supposed to find the answers or the values of x, and then we are supposed to sum those two values in order to find our answer to this question. Okay, so our very first step is, of course, we have to write this question as it is. So x plus 4 upon x plus 1 equals x, right? For solving this is in the division here. When it will go on the right hand side, it would be multiplied with x, right? So x plus 4 equals x multiplied with x plus 1, right? This x plus 1 whole bracket is multiplying with this x, right? So x plus 4 equals x into x is x square, right? X into plus 1 is x, right? Now see, this x is of plus here. When it will go there, it will be minus, right? So x square plus x minus x equals plus 4, right? This x plus minus cancel. What we are left with is x square equals 4. We are only supposed to find the value of x, not x square. So under root on both sides, right? Under root on both sides. So this square cancel with this, and the under root of 4 is what? Plus minus 2, because 2 2s are 4, right? So we have gotten two values of x. The initial value is x is equal to plus 2, and the next value of x is equal to minus 2. Now we are supposed to find the sum of these two values, the sum of these two roots, right? Sum means only addition. So 2 plus this value, which means minus 2. So 2 plus minus is minus 2. 2 minus 2 is 0. So the sum of those two roots is 0, which means E is the correct answer, right? We have gotten our answer, which is E. Now we are going to solve 54th question, and it says a pentagon has one line of symmetry. All 5 sides are 6 centimeters. See, this pentagon means 5 sides, right? 5 sides, and those 5 sides have the length of 6 centimeter, and the interior angles in anti-clockwise order are 60, 150, 90, 90 and 150. So basically they have given us interior angles, not anterior but interior angles. Interior angles they have already given us. So initial is 60, okay, and there are 290, means two perpendicular angles, and two 150 angles, right? So initially let's suppose the what shape of this pentagon. How will this gonna be look like? The pentagon has 5 sides, right? So what if I suppose this square with this triangle on its top? Now see, we need to plug these all the angles, right? So for plugging these all the angles in it, see, this 60 angle can be this 60 angle, right? This 60 angle. There are 150 angles, two 150 angles, right? So this can be 150 angle, and this can also be 150 angle, right? And there are two 90 angles, which means right angle triangle. So here it is, and here it is. Now we are sure that we have supposed the perfect figure, okay, that we wanted, right? Now we are supposed to find the area of the pentagon. The area of the pentagon. And we are known that each side of pentagon is 6 centimeter long, which means this is 6 centimeter, this is 6 centimeter, this is 6 centimeter, this is 6 centimeter. So these 5 sides of the pentagon are 6 centimeter long. Now we are supposed to find the area of the pentagon. We can break this figure into two parts, right? The initial triangle and another is square, right? And for finding the area of the square, the area of square is x square, right? Whatever the side length of what side is, you just have to take the square of it, right? So the side is 6 centimeter long, we just have to take the square of it. So 6 square equals 6 into 6, right? 6 into 6, and that equals 36, right? So the area of the square is now 36. We are now supposed to find the area of triangle, that two equilateral triangle, because every side of it is 6 centimeter long, right? If this is 6, so this would be 6, right, as well. So because these all sides are 6 centimeter long, which means this is an equilateral triangle. And for finding the area of the equilateral triangle, there is a shortcut formula called under root 3 by 4x square. Under root 3 by 4x square, x, where x is the side length. It is nothing but it is the side length. Where the side length of the triangle is 6, so 6 square is 36, right? So 36 under root 3 by 4. So 4 ones are 4, 4 nines are 36, right? So now it is 9 under root 3. 9 under root 3. We were supposed to find the entire area of the pentagon, right? Which means we can now sum the area of the triangle and sum the area of the square in order to find the area of this entire pentagon. So area of square is 36, right? 36 plus, and the area of triangle is now 9 under root 3. What I can take common from these both values is 9, right? Because 9 fours are 36. And from here now 9 has gone out, now only under root 3 is remaining. So this is the area of pentagon we have found. Let's see if we have gotten this in our answer. 9 4 plus under root 3, 9 4 plus under root 3, which means E is the correct option, right? We have found the area of the pentagon. Now we are going to solve 55th question, and it is again very easy, not difficult at all. It says an electric train is traveling on a straight horizontal track. So this is the horizontal track we have, and here we have a electric train moving, right? This is an electric train moving. A constant resultant force greater than 0 acts on the train in the direction of its train motion. So direction of the train motion is this, and the force is also applied. The resultant force is also applied on this direction, and that is the constant force, right? That is constant force. What happens to the magnitude of the acceleration and to the magnitude of the velocity of the train? So they are asking us about the magnitude of the acceleration, and they are asking us about the velocity of the train, right? So basically the formula for force is what? It is ma, right? It is ma. Now what if I do, if I have to find the acceleration, right? So let's drive the formula for acceleration. Acceleration is equal to force per unit mass. And because we know that they've already mentioned there is a constant resultant force, which means force is constant, right? Force is constant. And mass cannot be changed. Mass can never be changed, right? Mass of anything would remain same. So mass is also constant. Because force and mass, these both are constant, then acceleration would also be constant. Okay. Now see, from here what we draw is our acceleration would not change. Our acceleration is constant. From this we draw our acceleration is constant. What happens to the velocity? Velocity has to change, right? Acceleration is what? Acceleration is change of velocity per unit time, right? Change of velocity. If there is acceleration existing, even though that acceleration is constant, it doesn't matter on that at all, right? If acceleration is there, there must be change in velocity, which means either velocity is increased or there is decrease in velocity. Now let's read our option where acceleration is constant and there is either velocity increased or velocity decreased. So our A option, the acceleration increases. Here acceleration is increasing, and in our answer the acceleration is constant, which means A can never be the option. A can never be the option. That's why I've cut this. Let's read the C option now. Okay, the acceleration decreases. It has to remain constant. Okay, according to our answer. D option, the acceleration remains constant. Okay, acceleration is constant and the velocity remains constant. No, velocity has to either increase or decrease. Velocity would not remain constant, which means our D option is also wrong. The acceleration increases, but the acceleration has to remain constant. If I read my B option now, the acceleration remains constant, which means yes, acceleration is constant and velocity has to either increase or decrease. So velocity here increases, which means our B option is correct option, right? We have solved our third question as well. Let's go towards 56th question. Which one of the following is an equation of the line that passes through 4,3 coordinate point, which means the value of x is 3 and the value of x is 4 and the value of y is 3 and is perpendicular to the line this. Okay, so basically this line is given to us, y equals 2x plus 4, right? From here we can find the slope of the equation, and if I write the standard form of the equation, which is y is equal to mx plus c, where this m is my slope, right? This m is my slope. So from here, what is my slope? What is my m value here? Mx, right? So my value of m is 2 here, right? So I have found the slope value from here. Now this line is perpendicular. I mean the line that we are finding is perpendicular to this line, and the perpendicular line slope is negative reciprocal. Always remember, negative reciprocal, which means what is the negative value of 2? If it is plus 2, the negative value of it would be minus 2, and it is reciprocal, which means 1 in the numerator and that would be in the denominator. So this would be the slope of our new equation. Okay, the line that would be perpendicular to this. So let's find the slope from each option first. Okay, from each option first, let's find the slope. If I start from here. Okay, I have to make it in the way as y equals mx plus c, right? Mx plus c. So I have to just segregate this y, right? So 2y equals, here x is of plus, when it will go there it will be minus, right? So minus x plus 10. I have to segregate y. So 2 is multiplying with it. When it will go there, it will be divided by these two values, right? So x by 2 plus 10 by 2. Now I can write it like this, right? Minus 1 upon 2x, because when x would be multiplied by minus 1, it would be minus x by 2, right? Plus 10 by 2 is 5, right? 2 ones are 2, 2 5s are 10. So from here, what is my slope value? Y is equal to mx plus c, right? So m value is now minus 1 upon 2. So from here I saw that the value of my slope is coming from this equation, right, as minus 1 upon 2, which I was finding. Now let's check these two values. Let's put these two values instead of y and x, and let's see if my right hand side comes like this, right? So the equation is 2y plus x equals 10, right? And the y value is 3, right? So let's put 3 instead of y, and let's put 4 instead of x, right? So 4 equals 10. So 2 3s are 6, right? Plus 4 equals 10. 6 plus 4 is 10 equals 10. It is satisfying, which means my E is the correct answer. I hope you understand how we found that. Just know this, the slope of the line which is perpendicular to the original line will have the slope of negative reciprocal, okay? Remember this. Now let's solve 57th question. And 57th question says the spherical particles have the following diameters. So these 3 diameters are given to us. What is the order of the diameter? We just have to write in the order from smallest to the greatest value. Okay. Now see, this P is given, this N is given, this micron is given. Let's see what are these. These are the prefixes, okay, and they have particular values. If I start from deci, we have initial, that is deci, and deci has value of 10 power minus 1, 10 power minus 1. Then we have value of centi, deci, centi, then we have milli, okay, then we have milli, then we have micro, then we have nano, and then we have pico. These are some prefixes that you must learn in physics. There are some values that have negative power, starts from deci, centi, milli, micro, nano, pico. There are also positive power values. For instance, deca, hecta, kilo, mega, giga, tera, whatever, right? Goes until on. Now see, deci has 10 power minus 1, centi has 10 power minus 2. Okay, milli has 10 power minus 3. Micro has 10 power minus 6, not minus 4, minus 6. Nano, as the name suggests itself, minus 9. Pico has 10 power minus 12. 10 power minus 12. So these are basically values. So what does 1650 picometer means? 1650 pico. Pico means 10 power minus 12, right? So just write 10 power minus 12. Okay. Then what does 1.5 nano mean? 1.5 nano means 10 power minus 9, right? So just let's write 10 power minus 9. Wait. And then we have the last value remaining, 0.0036 micro. Micro means 10 power minus 6. Now let's just, you know what, simplify these values. If I write this in point form, so my point is here, right? Let me write it with another. So my point is here. How much point do I move on the left hand side in order to make it only one value left on the left hand side? So 1, 2, 3. Okay, so now this value becomes 1.650. How many points did I move? 1, 2, 3, right? So into 10 power 3. So minus 12. And since I have moved the point on the left hand side, which means plus 3. So minus 12 plus 3. Minus 9, right? So now value is minus 9. And actually we have this minus 5 into 10 power minus 9. And then we have this value. If I write in the same way as I have written 1650, so I have to move this point 1, 2, 3, right? So 3.6. And since now I have moved the point on the right hand side, so power would be of minus. So 10 power minus 6. And how many points have I moved? 1, 2, 3. So minus 3. So minus 6 minus 3 is minus 9, right? So 10 power minus 9. Now since all the powers of tens are in minus 9, minus 9, minus 9, now just see the value. Which is the smallest value? We have to arrange from the smallest to the largest. So the smallest is 1.5, right? So 1.5 Okay, and what we had with 1.5 is nanometer, right? So nanometer, and then what we have is 1.6. After 1.5, 1.6 comes, right? So 1.650, and what we have with 1650 is picometer, right? So picometer, and then the last value is 3.6, right? That I can write 0.0036, and instead of this all, what we have is micrometer. So micrometer. So this should be my answer: 1.5, 1650, and 0.0036 micrometers. So E is the correct answer. If you see this, okay. So this is the correct answer do we have. Now let's go and solve the third last question, which is a wire made of a metal of uniform resistivity. Resistivity is given to us, okay? And the length is also given to us, and the diameter is given to us. What we are supposed to find is the resistance. Resistance we are supposed to find. So the formula for finding the resistance, is R equals resistivity length per unit area. Length per unit area. This is the formula that we are supposed to use here. And the formula for finding the area is pi r square, right? Pi r square is the formula for finding the area of any circle, right? And the the diameter is already given to us, diameter. So from here we can find the value of r. R is nothing but r is just half of diameter, and diameter is already given to us, which is 2.0 into 10 to the power minus 3. We just have to do the half of it. So 2 cancel. What we are left with is 10 power minus 3 only. Okay. So let's put this in the formula of area. Pi, r value is 10 power minus 3 whole square. Pi, 10 power minus 3. Minus 3 multiplied by 2 is minus 6, right? So 10 power minus 6. This is the area we have gotten. Now we are just supposed to substitute the values in the formula in order to find the answer of it. Okay, so resistance is equal to, the resistivity is what? The resistivity is already given to us, 1 into 10 to the power minus 6, which means I can only write 10 power minus 6 because 1 has no value. Okay, multiply by length, and length is what? It is 2 meter. So 2 upon, what is the area we have? Pi into 10 power minus 6. Okay, so 10 power minus 6, 10 power minus 6 cancelled. Okay, resistance come out to be 2 in the numerator, in the denominator pi, and since this is resistance, so the unit, SI unit for resistance is ohm. So this is the value we have found of resistance, 2 by pi ohm, 2 by pi ohm, which is the E option, right? 2 by pi ohm. Now we are going to solve second last question finally. Okay, the question says the Earth's atmosphere contains oxygen and nitrogen. The mass of an oxygen molecule is greater than the mass of a nitrogen. That we already know. Oxygen has mass of 16 AMU and nitrogen has mass of 14 AMU. The temperature of air in a room on a particular day is 300 Kelvin. So temperature they have already given to us. Below are the four. Okay. So we are just supposed to find the kinetic energy. Okay. For finding the kinetic energy, we have two formula. Initially, the kinetic energy that depends on the temperature. So for that, we have the formula. Which is 3 by 2 kBT. Okay. So this is the formula that we have of kinetic energy. When it depends on the temperature, right? And because the temperature is 300, from here we can derive that kinetic energy depends on temperature, right? Depends on temperature, and because temperature is 300 Kelvin for both the cases, 300 Kelvin for both the cases, so our kinetic energy of oxygen must be equal to kinetic energy of nitrogen. From here, from this formula we drove this. Okay, and the next formula for finding the kinetic energy we have is kinetic energy equals half mv square. Half mv square. From here, kinetic energy depends on two factors, mass and velocity. Mass and velocity. And because we know that mass of oxygen is greater than mass of nitrogen, okay, and we have to make the kinetic energy of the oxygen and kinetic energy of the nitrogen both equal, right? From here we drove that kinetic energy, I mean half m mass of oxygen into velocity square must be greater than half m mass of nitrogen velocity square. But we don't want this. We want these both things equal. We cannot change the mass of oxygen, right? We cannot change the mass of the nitrogen as well. But we know that the kinetic energy also depends on velocity, which means in order to make these both same, I have to make this velocity lower. I mean the velocity of oxygen, I have to make it lower, and the velocity of nitrogen I have to make higher. Okay, velocity of nitrogen I have to make it higher in order to equalize these both things, right? So now let's see what options are correct. They have an equal mean square velocity. No, from here what we saw that the velocity of nitrogen have to be greater than the velocity of the oxygen. This must be smaller, okay, and this nitrogen must be greater. So velocity must be greater than nitrogen. Okay, if I go with the second statement. The second statement says a nitrogen molecule has a greater mean square velocity than an oxygen molecule. Yes, nitrogen molecule has a greater mean square velocity than of oxygen. So B is the correct option. Let's read the third option. A is entirely wrong, right? So leave that A. Third option, a nitrogen molecule has a greater mean kinetic energy than an oxygen molecule. No, these both have kinetic energy equal, right? From here we drop that. Okay, so third option is entirely wrong. An oxygen molecule has a greater mean kinetic energy than nitrogen molecule. No, these both have equal. So again, this is wrong. From here we drop that only correct option is B, right? 2. So second statement is the only correct answer, which means D is the only correct answer. Now let's go and solve our last question, which is very easy, not difficult at all. So evaluate. We are given with an expression and we just are supposed to evaluate this expression. Simplify this expression in order to find our answer. So this cube is on this entire value, right? So on this 3 there has to be cube, right? On this 10 power 3 there has to be cube as well, right? Multiply by, and then this value, of course, 2 into 10 to the power minus 5. So cube of 3 into 3 is 9, 9 into 3 is 27. Okay, 10 power 3 into 3 is 9, right? Into 2 into 10 to the power minus 5. Let's multiply the constant things and then let's do the simplification with the values that has power. 27 into 2. 27 into 2. 2 sevens are 14, 1 here, 2 twos are 4 and 5. So 54, right? 54 into, because the bases are same, 10, 10, and these are multiplying, so value has to be added, right? Values have to be added. So 9 minus 5, right? 54 into 10 to the power. 9 minus 4 is 4, right? Point is here, if I move on the left hand side, which means 5.4, then I have to subtract 1 from this 4 because I have moved the point on the left hand side. So 1 has to be added in it. Okay, because I have moved the point on the left hand side. If I move the point on the right hand side, then of course it has to be subtracted. But since I have moved it on the right hand side, it has to be added. So 5.4 into 10 to the power 4 plus 1 is 5, right? So this is the answer I have. 5.4 into 10 to the power 5. 5.4 into 10 to the power 5, we have D option, right? So this is the correct answer. So we have solved all the questions from past paper of IMAT 20.